President Obama officially launching his re-election bid today as the U.S. gets disappointing news reports on the economy. Now, the president rallying supporters at Ohio State University, trying to convince voters there, especially young people, that his policies are actually turning the economy around and that he deserves a second term. President Obama facing some rough times these days and still high unemployment rates. But former President Ronald Reagan took on similar economic woes back in 1984, and in spite of it, he won re-election against the challenger Walter Mondale. Can President Barack Obama do the same against challenger Mitt Romney? David Hawkings joins us, editor of CQ Roll Call Daily Briefing. He joins us now live from Washington. Good to see you, David. Look, they obviously, Mondale and Romney, represent different parties, but in terms of the ability to attract voters as challengers, isn't there a dramatic difference between Mondale and Romney?
Oh, I think that's exactly right, Greg. I think it's very fair to say that while Barack Obama may be no Ronald Reagan, that neither is Mitt Romney, Walter Mondale. He is going to run towards the center. I think Romney is in a simplistic way, in a way that Walter Mondale never did. Walter Mondale embraced the liberal base from the very start and stuck with it. He gave a famous convention speech in which he said, "The next president will raise your taxes." Right. Ronald Reagan won't tell you, "I just did," and that was the end of it. So yes, I think Romney is going to play a very different game and be able to address the economy in a different way.
Now, the jobs numbers yesterday were, according to most economists, highly disappointing, yet the president touted the fact that the unemployment rate dropped fractionally from 8.2 to 8.1%, of course omitting the explanation that 340,000 people just gave up. But today he cautioned patience. Take a listen.
This crisis took years to develop, and the economy is still facing headwinds. And it will take sustained, persistent effort, yours and mine, for America to fully recover.
David, when November comes, is the trend line on jobs, assuming it's a downward trend, more important than the jobs number itself?
Yes, I think that's absolutely true. I think that what he just needs to do is get even an incremental increase in the number of people being hired, the net hiring gain every month, and the president will do just fine. I think really what we should look at, even more than the jobs number, of course, is the overall approval number. One statistic to keep in mind is that every president who's been at 50% or above in July who's run for re-election has won, and the two presidents who weren't above 50% in July, the first George Bush and Jimmy Carter, lost. So that's why I think we're seeing the campaign start in earnest now, why we're seeing the president going so hard after Mitt Romney now. He wants to get that approval rating, which is still a couple of points below 50%, above that magic number by the summer. That's the trend line he's really looking at. And then even if the unemployment trend line is only going in his favor slightly, he should do okay in November.
All right, let's put this up on the screen, a comparison of Reagan and Obama on jobs. Now, back in April of '84, Reagan presided over the creation of 363 jobs that month. During the same month this year, President Obama presided over just 115,000 jobs created. When you extrapolate that from April to April in each respective presidency, Reagan created more jobs than Obama each and every month for a year, 2 to 1. Now, David, some historians say that's because Reagan worked closely with House Speaker Tip O'Neill. He cut deals in the best interests of the public. He helped speed the recovery as a result. Is that, in your mind, also a difference between Reagan and Obama, who doesn't appear to be working with John Boehner?
Oh, I think that's a huge difference. I think the degree to which Washington is a different place from when I got here, which was right at the end of President Reagan's presidency, the last 2 years of his presidency, and now cannot be overstated. Back when I first came here, Bob Michel, the Republican leader, was absolutely a player in a very small Republican minority. Tip O'Neill, Jim Wright even, worked with Republican presidents on lots of different issues. The degree of polarization and paralysis and dysfunction and all the bad words that you want to pile onto Washington right now kind of can't be overstated.
All right. David Hawkings, editor of CQ Roll Call Daily Briefing, thanks very much for joining us live from Washington.